Hello, I'm Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm James Pelton, and I'm here to give my player ratings from today's 2-0 defeat to Man United. Spoke about the reaction before, but I just felt it was a game where we played well in the first half, but 2-0 down because of two bad mistakes of ours, and then we didn't capitalise at all in the second period. Even less huff and even less puff in the second half, basically. Less perspiration, less inspiration. It was just a game which just kind of slowly met its end, and a game where I think overall I don't think we deserved anything from it. If we changed things in the first half an hour, absolutely we could have been a goal up and in a much better place in a game where I think we could have really seen it out. We didn't find the net. A couple of really bad errors in defence, which we'll talk about obviously, and yeah, we've lost the game, so it's really disappointing. I'd say difficult to take, but I think everyone's getting quite used to this thing of Everton play. I mean, I tweeted about it saying, you know, start well, miss chances, concede a crap goal. And when I say crap goal, I mean like a goal really preventable and avoidable. If the team carves through us or whatever, like City did, you know, in late December or whatever, you know, fair play. But I'll say even that was a dubious penalty. But I think in terms of the goals we conceded, it's not like United have done incredible work there. We've given the ball away for the second one and defended a counter-attack really naively and poorly. And the first one was just shocking, but a defender by James Tarkowski. But and then yeah, second period we did next to nothing really. And I felt by sort of the 75th, 80th minute, it felt like we were just kind of trying to keep it at 2-0 and see if we can get one from a corner or something. So yeah, disappointing. But anyway, moving on to team ratings. John Pickford gave him a 7. Made 2 great saves. Nearly saved the first penalty. Nowhere near the second one, obviously. But you know, there's nothing he could have really done today, I don't think. At the end of the day, it's 2 penalties. You know, as bad an opportunity for a goalkeeper to save anything as you get, and you give them twice in sort of 10 minutes. It's yeah, I'm sure he was very displeased of that. But yeah, say great save from 2 great saves from Fernandes actually. A couple of other stops in there as well. But yeah, I thought John Pickford did all he could today, really. Not much more. Ben Godfrey gave him a 2. I thought he was absolutely shocking again. You know, he played against Tottenham and he did all right in the second half before he went off. He was really a fault for the second goal against Tottenham. I came out of the Goodison, everyone was saying how well he played, and I was thinking, I thought he was okay, but he did really poorly for a goal. He did a bit better in the second half, but he did also go off, so it wasn't like he played the full 90 minutes. I mean, he stayed in at right back since then, and I thought last week he was pretty poor. And then today, I mean, going forward, he's non-existent. And I think you get frustrated about this because it's like he's a centre-back playing right-back, but he's not really though, is he? Because he's a right-back now, really, or he's a left-back, or he's a centre-back. He's kind of a utility player. So you've got to be able to do all 3 to some level. And because that's, you know, he's been at Everton for 4 years now, and that's been his role. He's played in all 3, and I mean, I'm not sure on the numbers, but I'd suggest he's probably played right-back more than he's played centre-back or left-back. And if you're there with Ashley Young and Seamus Coleman in the team, and you know right back's up for grabs because Coleman's 35 years old now, just come off back of a second serious injury in the last sort of 5-6 years. Ashley Young's about 400 years old and is nowhere near good enough, and Nathan Patterson has shown very little improvement in the last 2 years since he's been here. Right back is up for grabs in the team. And if you can't look at that position and say, right, I'm going to really improve at this, I'm going to really give it, because he's got the physical attributes to play right back. I'd say his physical attributes are much more suited to a right back or right-sided centre-back than a centre-back in a back 4. So, I mean, I don't know what he's doing in training, obviously, but I'm just thinking to myself, why not go and really give it your all to cement yourself as the right back at the club? Get better at going forward, get better at crossing, get better at putting the ball in first time. A couple of the balls he put in today were just absolutely pathetic, to be honest with you. There was a really good chance you had second half, one of a few he created where the ball comes to right back edge of the area, you're thinking, right, just take a touch here. There's no need to hit this first time because players aren't really coming into the box. So just take a touch and hit it quickly after that. You know, try and get everyone in sort of mid-transition in and out of the box. You hit it first time, straight out of play. He did a couple of them today, a couple that get blocked straight away. Yeah, and then obviously kind of caps it off with giving away that second penalty. I have no idea what he's thinking. I saw on Twitter someone called Garnacho a diver when he very clearly clip for the second one, sorry, the first one. He's very clearly trodden on kind of for the second one, so I disagree with that. But yeah, Godfrey, just thought he was really poor today. And as I say, it's not the first time. He played right back, obviously, sort of this time last year against Newcastle. Got absolutely torn to pieces by Isak. He wasn't the only one. Michael Keane and others that night were really poor in the back line. And I thought he's never going to play right back again. And he didn't really until recently. But yeah, again, I tweeted about it saying that, you know, in the week we brought up this shirt for Seamus Coleman, you know, great, whatever. It's sort of thing you do, you know, when you're playing well and, you know, maybe if Coleman's in the team or whatever. I thought it was a bit weird, to be honest with you, but in a week where we've basically celebrated having the same right back for 15 years. No other club in the Premier League's done that, by the way. No other club in the Premier League's got a player playing for them at right back that I can think of right now who's been there since 2009. Like, it's absolutely insane. The changes that have gone on all over football since then. We've got still got the same right back. You know, the week where we celebrated that, basically, you're looking at it and saying it's the weakest point of our team. It's the point of the team where we've just didn't sign anyone for ages. And when we did, it was Cuco Martini, who was nowhere near good enough. It was promoting John Joe Kenny, who was nowhere near good enough. It was playing Godfrey, nowhere near good enough. It was playing Patson, nowhere good enough. Young, nowhere near good enough. It's just Sidibe, nowhere near good enough. It's just awful how we've not managed to get a right back. Look at all the right backs who've gone through as well in this time and been signed, like some Matty Cash, for example. I mean, I'm not saying he's absolutely brilliant, but he'd be our starting right back for sure. I just found it unbelievable. But anyway, Tarkovsky gave him a free. I thought he was okay other side of the penalty, but it's changed the game, and, you know, a couple of slack passes as well. I just didn't feel like it was his best game today. Jared Bramford, I've given him a 6. Again, I think I gave him a 6 last week because he was just good, and he was good again today. If you didn't have Jared Bramford, that's 3 or 4-0 probably, because of a couple of tackles he makes, a couple of interceptions he's making. He's just class. His passing was quite poor, but I thought other than that, I thought he put in another decent shift. Mikalenko gave him a 3 as well. A little bit lucky not to give away 2 penalties. They probably weren't penalties in my opinion, but I'd also be screaming for them a little bit if they were against us. But to be fair, the second one, he slides in, his hand's like sort of over here to help him fall on the floor, and it hits it and it's not given. I really enjoy that not being given, because anyone who's played football knows if you're going in for a slide, your arm's going to go somewhere, and it looks really blatant. I was glad that wasn't given, to be fair, but yeah, going forward, he was non-existent. Defensively, Garnacho had him quite a lot in the game, and I just didn't think it was his best performance. I think players like Mikalenko, there's a couple of others coming up, you played really well in that stretch. We won all those games in December, and he's just kind of gone from here to here to here, and it's been like a slow decline for sort of 3 or 4 players, and that's a big reason, I think, why we're in this horrendous rut that we're in. But yeah, moving into midfield, Jack Harrison gave him a 2, absolutely shocking. Him and Godfrey on that right hand side, Jesus wept. I mean, I said before, Harrison, I think Leeds fans are saying this, someone told me before that, you know, he puts in like a 4 or a 5 out of 10 and then he scores, and it's like brilliant. And that's exactly what he's been doing for Everton. In games when he scored or got an assist, a lot of the time he is playing like a sort of 4, 5, 6 out of 10. 7 or 8 out of 10s have been few and far between. I think Bournemouth earlier this season, when he did actually score, to be fair, but he played quite well, I felt. A couple of other games he's played all right and done okay in the game, and probably is like a 7 or 8 out of 10, helped us get a decent result. But no, I thought today he was really bad, and he was really bad last week as well. I just think him being left-footed out on the right, he's just got no balance there at all. I think McNeil probably better on the right, because at least McNeil likes coming inside and has got a much better left foot than him. And I mean, the pair of them can't shoot on their or do anything on their right foot really. But yeah, I thought he was really poor today. Harrison, Garner, have given him a 4. Best strike curve on James Garner. I mean, I don't think he did much last week. He didn't do much today either. And I think like Mikalenko, like McNeil, like Harrison, really, like Calvert-Lewin, you know, these are players who were doing quite well in that period, and just kind of, and again, I mean, I'm looking at it today, I think he made 1 tackle today in midfield, completed sort of 30 odd passes. He did fine, he was okay. I'm not saying he was bad, but he just didn't really do much. And same with Onana, next I'm giving him a 4 as well. I think Onana, a few more passes, a couple more tackles, but the pair of them, I just didn't feel they did enough in the game. And you're playing centre mid at Old Trafford, and it's not easy. Again, it's a big pitch and it's a big stage, especially for Garner. But I'm also thinking there's loads of room in the middle at Old Trafford when you're playing against Man United, because their midfield organisation is just non-existent. The amount of times you've got space and sort of the you know, maybe the sort of, after 10 yards of the halfway line to about sort of the semicircle, the amount of space that was in that area was just ridiculous, and I thought like they both could have done better. Garner set pieces again, not good enough, but here we are. McNeil on the left, I've given him a 3. I thought he was, again, poor. You know, got into good areas, and that chance he missed right at the end of the first half, it just felt like a gimme. It just felt like, oh, this means, oh, you know what I mean? I'm just going to hit this and see what happens, and it's blocked and it's gone out, and, you know, again, his crossing's been awful the last few weeks. Set pieces, again, not good enough. It's really disappointing because, again, he was playing so well for sort of 3 or 4 weeks in December, and it's just dropped off. I know, obviously, got stuff going on off the pitch, and it'd be great if we could afford to move out the team for a few. We should be able to, really. We should have 6 more points than we do, but that's neither here nor there for right now. It'd be great because I feel like he could really do with that, but yeah, at the minute, again, just not good enough. Speaking of good enough, Decore, I thought he was just anonymous all game. I mean, someone said before that he's not played well recently, but he's only just come back from injury. It's his second game back now, so he will need time to get up to speed, and he's going to be an important player for us, I'm sure, but the ball's just not dropping for him where it was a few months ago. He's not getting in those areas. To be fair, the rest of the team not playing well doesn't help, but yeah, I feel like a player who's got quite a lot to his skill set, I feel like he should be doing more when the ball isn't dropping to him 12 yards out and he can hit a good first-time finish. I think all of his goals under Dyche have been first-time finishes, which is brilliant, but the ball's not always going to drop like that. You need a bit more in your games. I've given him a 3. And the best, I've given him a 4 because I felt like he put in a decent shift. In terms of working hard, trying to run Johnny Evans ragged, and he so often with Beto, he does the hard part, and it's just a little pass off to someone, and he messes up, and it's like, oh God. I spoke about him last week. He feels like a bit of a charity case sometimes with our fans, because I feel like he was supporting him through a difficult time where he's not scoring, which is obviously what we should be doing. But then he comes into the team and he misses chances, or he does something silly in a game and it's kind of brushed off, where I think if all players do it, it's like they're not happy. So, but yeah, I thought he put in a decent shift. I probably would have kept him on because I just felt like the whole front line was static other than him, and that's why I've given him slightly higher than the rest, but I don't think he played particularly well at all. And then the subs came on. None of them did anything. Pointless really to rate them. I thought Dobbin got in and among it and tried to make stuff happen, but he's a kid. He did okay in League One last season. He's probably a Championship level winger, and we're having to bring him on in Premier League games away at big stadiums like Old Trafford, which is far from ideal. But at least he put himself out a little bit, and as I say, tried to make things happen. So yeah, quite scathing, but I just think loads of teams get chances against Man United and they concede up to 20 shots quite often in the Premier League, and I think we've had 11 or 12 shots in the first half, and obviously a few more in the second half. Loads of teams do it. At the end of the day, like, if we've done that against a City or an Arsenal, then I'd be thinking, bloody hell, this is really unlucky because we've carved them open here. But I feel like United are there for the taking at the minute, and I feel like most teams in the Premier League think that. It doesn't always happen, but without Højlund in the team, they have no striker. They have to play team players like McTominay, Lindelof and Evans. I just feel like they were really there for the taking today, and if only we just not given away those silly penalties in the first half, which wrecked the game for us, maybe we could have gone on. But second half, we were nowhere near good enough. But the players let themselves down. Chances getting missed left, right and centre. It was unlucky a few months ago against Wolves and Fulham and all these things. Now it's like you've got to just start doing it because you're Premier League footballers and you get this many chances, you can't keep missing them. So that's how I see it anyway. But yeah, I know your thoughts. Let me know who you thought played well, who didn't, and let me know what changes you make for the games ahead. So we'll see you next time. Next one.